Hey everyone, good afternoon. Usually I'm saying good morning, but it's hard for me to have Bible studies on Sunday mornings because I'm getting ready to go to church, which I hope you'll be doing tomorrow. So I thought maybe I'd just do it today. And for the past 2 days we've been talking about how each one of us have a certain design about ourselves, and the question that we need to ask ourselves is, are we really being authentic? Are we doing what we are destined to do? Are we really following the plan that we should be following, given our gifts, our talents, our financial status, where we live in the country? All those things matter in who we are. And so the question that we've been asking ourselves for 2 days and thinking about and talking about is, are we really living out who we really are supposed to be? So that's what we've been talking about. So today, this afternoon, I thought what we'd talk about is reinventing ourselves. Say that we have determined that we are really not the authentic person that we could be. We are doing things and we're okay and things are moving along, but the fact is we really realize that there's something in us that's missing. Maybe we really need to be doing something else. So I was doing a little research online and I found a couple of people who were making 6-figure incomes. And one of them was a financial planner. And he just said in his situation, he said, look, I was making 6 figures and I was just not happy. And so he kept thinking, how can I get outdoors more? How can I get outdoors more? And so he decided just to begin doing some backpacking. And so, of course, he had the money to do it, which is one of our things, all those things matter about ourselves. And so he just took part of his money and he began doing backpacking. And the next thing you know, people are paying him to go backpacking. And so he has quit his 6-figure job income. He says that he doesn't make as much money, but the fact is, he says he is so much happier doing what he really was meant to do. And so that's one of the things that we're talking about today. And so maybe you need to reinvent yourself. Maybe that's your situation. You realize that you need to reinvent yourself. Now, before we go reinventing ourselves, we have to realize that God knows who we are, and He has a purpose for us. So that's the most important thing that we need to realize. God does have a purpose for us, and we really should be making sure that we're doing His will first. And so just a couple of scriptures to kind of go with that is that God knows all things, 1 John 3:20. And no thought can be withheld without Him. So all thoughts that we have go with Him. Thou, Lord, knowest the hearts of men, Acts 1:24. For He knows the secrets of our hearts, Psalm 44:21. Whether I flee from Thy presence, Thou art there. Whether I ascend into heaven, Thou art there. I may be in hell, and Thou art there, Psalm 139:7, 8. For mine eyes are upon their ways, and they are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from mine eyes. So it's important that we see, as we begin to think about reinventing ourselves, that what we really need to do is be sure that we're in God's will, that we're doing what He would have us to do. So it's just so important that we do that. Now, we're going to talk about reinventing ourselves, and we're going to talk about all the important things of doing things that would help us change some of the things about ourselves. So I'm going to give you just a couple of tips, and of course, these are all just ideas that might be helpful to you as you determine if it's time for you to reinvent yourself. Okay, first of all, this would be renewing or pursuing a new passion. In other words, if you are stuck in the mud and you really realize that you are in a situation that you really are not giving life its best, you could do a better job in some other situation, then you need to think about reinventing yourself. Now, we talked about yesterday or day before, we talked about the important things regarding our, I want to read it to you, I think, if I can find it. But we talked about putting forth our defining moment And the defining moment is a moment in time that defines something, such as a person's success or failure, achievements or demise. So in other words, a defining moment can be a positive or a negative. Now, if it's positive, then what's happened with your situation is you realize that you're in the wrong spot. If it's positive, or you realize I'm in the right spot. You realize at whatever situation you're in, you're either in the right spot or you're in the wrong spot. You might realize that you are exactly where you should be. Maybe you are a person, you have certain looks, you have certain skills, you have a certain personality, you have a certain financial state, you're in a certain standing wherever you are. You're either the leader, you're the boss, you're not the boss, you're, wherever you are on the totem pole at work. Your personality type matters. You're either a slacker or you're one that you're high-strung, or you're easygoing, or you're easy to get along with, or you're with people. You have a personality type. And then it would be real important as you think of the reinvention of yourself that you look at those things as you pursue a new passion or a new you. So the first thing I'm suggesting that you do for certain is to seek God. That's the first thing. Ask Him for His vision. God, what is your vision of me? What is it that you see of me? And then, important, take stock of what He's done for you. Take stock of your spiritual gift. Take stock of your personality type. Take stock of your financial situation. Take stock of where you are currently. Take stock of all the things about yourself currently. And then, if you think that you're in the wrong spot, then you realize, okay, change is needed. And someone is saying, what do you mean by stock? So what I mean by stock is take stock. In other words, take inventory. In the back room of any restaurant or any store, it has a stock room. Well, inside of you have a certain stock. What about yourself? So take stock of yourself. What about your looks? Does that matter in the situation that would make you happy or not happy? What about your skills? What can you do? What can you not do? So pay attention to what you can do, what you cannot do. What about your personality? Are you outgoing? Are you quiet? Are you shy? Are you busty? In other words, you would bust out. You have a personality that just goes out there. What about you? Who are you? What about your financial situation? Are you in a situation that you can just drop your job and start over? Or do you need to be thinking about, okay, if I'm going to make some big changes here, I need to think about my education. Maybe you need to go back to your education. And someone's saying, stay in your lane, honey. Stay in your lane. So in other words, if you feel that you're in the lane that you belong, then you stay in your lane, honey. Don't go getting in someone else's lane. You be who you are. Be true to yourself. So that's what you need to do first of all. Ask God for the vision. What does He have for you? What is His plan for you? And then the second thing, if you decide that you're going to move forward and you are going to reinvent yourself, get ready, honey, because if you are, then you are going to do opposite of staying in your own lane. If you decide that you're going to reinvent yourself, you are just about to change lanes. And if you decide that you're going to change lanes, then big changes are going to happen in your life. So you need to determine that you're ready for this. Take action with this and determine, yes, I'm ready for these big changes that are about to occur. Or no, I better stay in my own lane. I better not get out of this lane because this is the one I'm comfortable in. But sometimes getting out of your own lane is the right thing. And someone is posting a point that's really good. If you decide to change lanes, if you're going to make a change in your life and you know that it's God prompting you to make that change, don't think for a minute that the enemy is not going to be all over it. So if you decide that you're going to change your lane and do something different, and you're going to make some serious life changes, then know that the enemy will be there to discourage you, to distract you, to make you feel like you've made a bad choice. So be aware that there is an enemy. We have the world, that's the world in which we live. We have the flesh, that's our feel-good. And we have the devil, and that is a true enemy who would not want us successful. So the first thing is to ask God for a vision and a plan. The second thing is to understand that if you decide to make this reinvention change, big changes are going to happen. And yes, even the enemy will be involved. And then third, realize your purpose. Who are you? What did God design you for? Why did He put you in the country in which you live? Why are you in the family in which you've come from? Why are you the ethnic group that you belong to? Why are you a male or a female? For what purpose are you here? You are here for a real purpose, and it's going to be important that you realize that. And then the fourth thing is, begin to visualize what it is you want to do. What is in your heart? What is the passion for your change? Begin to visualize that passion. Begin to think. Say that you're a financial planner and you feel stuck in the mud, and say that you do want to be outdoors. Then begin to visualize what it is that you want to do. Where is it you want to go? Do you want to move to the mountains? Do you want to begin a new career? What is it that you want to do? So that would be really important as you look at that situation. So number 4 is to visualize a future self. Visualize what is it that you would like to do. If you're sloppy and you want to change your appearance, then you're going to have to beam in on neatness. If you are shallow, then you're going to have to begin asking more questions. If you are, say that you're lazy, then you're going to have to begin not being a slacker, and you're going to have to get up, get going, and go forward. Say that you're just disheveled. Say that you just look a mess all the time. Then that's going to have to, if you want to make that change, then you're going to have to begin making that change. So these are all really important things that you will need to think about if you're going to make a change in your life. Say that something bad has happened in your life and you realize that the change is being forced on you. Say that this is not something you really wanted to do yourself. This reinvention idea was not your idea. Say that it was from someone else. Well, you might consider thinking this. When something bad happens, you can either let it define you, or you can let it destroy you, or you can let it strengthen you and make a change for the good. So sometimes it's better off for you to make that change and make it a positive situation for yourself and not a negative one. So these are things that you can consider. Now the 5th thing I'm suggesting that you do, and this is kind of elementary, but really this is a great idea, and that is create yourself a storyboard. Now, I know this is going to sound elementary. I know it is. I taught elementary school for 36 years. So this is right in my comfort zone. So I don't know where you are. You might not find this a comfort zone, but listen, this is a fine thing to do. And the thing that you want to do is to make yourself a storyboard. And the storyboard would include get some magazines, cut out the things that you have a desire to do. If you want to be a programmer, get yourself some computer pictures and be a programmer. If you want to say that you want to go outdoors, cut pictures out of places that you'd like to go, people you'd like to meet. Now this is something else, but this is the honest truth. For years and years and years, I wanted to be a photographer. I just wanted to be a photographer. And when someone famous would come, I would say, oh my goodness, I want to see that person. I would cut the stove off. If I was cooking and see them on television in the 6 o'clock news, I would turn the oven off, and down there I would go with my camera. And I would wait for hours and hours and hours to photograph those people. I just had a passion to do that. And I did it. And so listen, if you have a passion for something, you can do it. So create a storyboard for yourself, Make a storyboard so that you can have a vision of what it is you really want to approach, that you really want to do. Consider that. It is a great, great thing. And it was a great experience for my children. Many times they would be with me, and they've had opportunity to meet some great and famous people. We've seen the King and Queen of Spain. We've seen all the past 5 presidents, you know. So we've had opportunity to photograph and to see a lot of people because of a passion like that. Now, what is your passion? You can do that. And yes, I've even seen Rosa Parks, had my photograph taken with her, which was all fun. So you can have a vision for what you want, and that vision can be put into a storyboard. List and create yourself a storyboard, an image board, a chart, and hang it somewhere prominent so that you can be certain that you will get an opportunity to do these things. And then number 6, this is so important, stay focused. If you're going to reinvent yourself, you can't just reinvent yourself, and when the going gets tough, you quit. No, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. So if you're going to reinvent yourself, you must know that it's going to get tough. But as it gets tough, you are going to get tough. And someone's saying that storyboard saving souls. So if that were your passion, just say that you had a passion for saving souls. That was in you. You're just have a heart for bringing people to God. Well, then that's what you would do. Take all these great evangelists that have been before you and post their picture inside your storyboard. And then it would give you a vision for what they did. Jonathan Livingston, you know. You could post all these great past. Fanny Crosby, you know, all these great Billy Graham types. You know, all these people who have spread the gospel all over. And then if that were your vision, then you would post that on your storyboard, on your vision, on your image board, and then it would be a kind of like a little pole vaulting situation for you, so that you could begin to look forward and do something in that light. So I'm hoping that you will consider reinventing yourself if you need to. Maybe that's something you need to do. A collage. Someone's posting here that it's like a collage. If you don't know what a storyboard is, it's like a collage. You take photographs and images of things. And someone was just talking about the evangelists in Europe, and oh my goodness, how you could ever do that. And I'm going to visit Atlanta because I want to go to some of the places that there are some great theologians. Scott is one of them. We're one of the theologians that I just really honor and admire. And I want to visit Atlanta, and I want to track his steps to see where he went. And he became prominent in the Supreme Court, you know, in the government, as a person that brought people to the Lord. And I want to track his steps, you know. So you might consider doing things like that, you know, that would bring forth the ideas that you have in your mind. So I'm encouraging you, if you want to reinvent yourself, reinvent means to literally to change up. Do not do the same old thing. So if you want to do that, first ask God to make sure that this is God's will for your life. And the Bible says this in 1 John 3:20, God knows all things. So he knows all things about you. He has a vision for you in him. And then, for he knows the secrets of the heart. He knows your private thoughts. He knows your ideas. He knows all the things that you want. Ask him and allow him to live out. And someone's just saying that a famous pastor promoted something maybe of a different faith. And I don't know, I've never researched that, but here's the way I look at things like that. I look at a person's fruit. And so, I don't know, that may be true, I don't know. I've never researched it. But I know this. When you and I look at people that are famous, we have to remember they're human. And number 2, we have to look at their fruit. You have to look at my fruit, I have to look at your fruit. And that's how we know. You know, we're fruit inspectors. People can tell us all day long they know the Lord, but we know what the Bible says about it. We know that there are many people that come and they say that they are, but they aren't. They're not a Christian. So what we do is we look at a person's fruit, and their fruit will tell us. So listen, someone's saying that the definition of insanity is to do the same thing, but looking for a different result. So let's don't do the same old thing and look for a different result. Let's move forward in our vision. Let's do something different. Maybe it's time for you to reinvent. Maybe it's time for you to change it up. Maybe it's time for you to ask God to really give you a new vision. Lord, what is it you'd have me do? Lord, I just ask you for hope for my life. What would you have me do? And Sanders did not begin his chicken business until he got his Social Security check. So you are not too young, and you are certainly not too old to change it up. And now may be the day. Everybody have a great afternoon, and I hope to see you here tomorrow. Now, I'll probably do our Bible study tomorrow afternoon because it's hard for me to do it in the morning, but I wanted to show you my eggs before you left. Look at them. Aren't they beautiful? Aren't they beauties? That's today's collection. And I'm really not finished collecting. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. If you're a mother out there, you tremendous impact. Keep on doing it, Mama. Have a great day, everybody. Y'all love your mama tomorrow now.